everybody, I'm Will.
And I'm Criston.
And this is So I'm Watching House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 8.
The Queen Who Ever Was.
I don't really get that. She's going to be?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Corlys named his boat the Queen
Who Never Was.
Who Never Was, which is sweet, but...
Could have just named it Rhaenys. Feels kind of backhanded.
Yeah, I was sort of like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, just double down on that.
He's not being effective in any capacity.
I like him so much, but it
well, that's why I've said it like the last 3 episodes. I think Steve Toussaint is great, but like...
He's really compelling, and
he's great to look
he's
at.
so stately, yeah.
Yeah. Corlys...
Big King of the Gods energy.
But Corlys is...
We can start there.
Well, I like that Alan told him off. Was
Do you?
like, yeah, was like, look, dude, I was starving my whole life, and now all of a sudden you're gonna like elevate me, and you want me to be grateful as if.
Well, it did a little bit retroactively earn me some of the stiltedness of the season, because I think in our last episode, I was like, every fucking episode, we get a scene of them talking, charged at the docks, and I was like, ugh. And
well, they both know, and they've both always known.
Well, and Alan has been surlier than Adam.
Yeah.
But...
He's older.
Uh-huh. I don't know. I showed my hand a little bit. I liked this episode. I thought it was really pretty good, veering on really good.
Yeah.
I still don't think I agree with how they're handling this show.
No, not at all.
But it gave me a handful of things that I have been begging it to give me. It gave me something new with Dorne and the Dornish.
I know it was not Dorne. It was across the narrow sea. It was Essos and Pentos and Mirror. Yeah.
I thought they said Dornish a couple. I'm sure they did.
So, well, Sir Criston is from Dorne.
Okay, what's her name? The pirate queen?
Oh, it was... Hold, please. Sharako Lohar.
Okay, Sharako. No, we sort of opened up with a new location, and it was tropical, and there was a monkey, and there were colors, and it was Tyland Lannister was there trying to get them to help with the blockade situation.
So he needs boats.
And his pleas were kind of falling on deaf ears, but then at the last minute, they were sort of like, well, if you can ride with us, then we'll ride with you.
Yeah.
And so they bring out Sharako.
Lohar.
Okay.
They called her Lohar, yeah.
Is that a term for like...
No, that's her last name.
Oh, okay.
But they Captain Lohar.
It was just, something was happening. Something interesting. I think her character largely worked. She did slightly feel like a rehash of Yara, but...
Better.
You think better? You never really liked Yara all that much.
Well, we can't relitigate the past.
No, you can't repeat the past.
No. So, yeah, I mean, I had issues with the arc of it. I guess I liked her towards the end when she was, like, joining up with Daenerys and everything. I
like the mud wrestling.
Yeah,
and
I think she's more compelling.
So I'm a Lannister. I wish I had my Lannister shirt so badly, especially for this episode.
Where's Cersei? She's around, isn't she?
Well, there's dozens of them in here, but...
There she is.
I've kind of loved that Tyland Lannister, that the show has kind of been insisting that he's on the show, even though he's only barely, and we even saw Jason in this episode.
Well, so Tyland is on the small council. He's the master of coin, but yeah, I take your point.
He doesn't ever really amount to much. I feel like this is the most that he's done, at least in a minute.
Like, all the Lannisters are just, like, rich dandies, and so it's like, they're basically the money, and that's it, yeah.
And so, yeah, she took a liking to him and invited him for some long pork and to pork her wives. So
I feel like the cannibalism was a joke, but having sex with her wives is correct.
Because she was sort of, when he was like, I have never and would never, and she was like, ha ha ha, I'm kidding, of course. And she's like, I mean about the having a choice.
You're definitely doing it.
I don't know. That was really fun. That was interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So they're sailing across. Basically, I will skip all the way to the end to just say that at the end, we are on the precipice of the actual thing where, like, all the ships on both sides are going to meet at the blockade. Some people are running away. Some people are getting ready for battle. It's like, so everyone is in motion to the end, basically.
Orwell came to visit Aegon and basically told him Orwell
Yeah.
was giving him
The maester.
the rum.
Yeah.
Larys came to Aegon and basically told him, he was like, you need to get while the getting's good.
You and me, we should get out of here. We should skedaddle and do like a buddy cop comedy.
Has that been there, that dynamic with them?
No.
Okay.
I hate Larys.
Yeah.
And I sometimes like Aegon, so.
Aegon, I like him more.
Yeah.
I think, as I've said, if you've been watching our coverage, the memes do a lot for me, and I think the meme of him like, in battle really sold me on his character.
The thing that's worked for me is that, like, somewhere at the midpoint of this season, they started releasing more press, and so I saw a ton of press with Tom Glencarney, and he is so funny. So I was, like, very into that.
But he was hesitant at first because his life's not worth saving, I guess, because the fucking penises there. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I get the fixation on them.
I already fully forgot that his penis is gone. Apparently, it burst like a sausage in the fire
on a spit. He seemed like he wasn't interested, but at the end, it did show them leaving. Ulf, across the narrow sea,
brother,
Ulf, gotta go. Got to go. I like it, Harry.
Hugh.
I like Hugh a lot. And he's also, he has manners and decorum, but he's also just very handsome.
He's so handsome.
I was gonna say
him and Adam of Hull, Hugh the blacksmith and Adam of Hull are so good looking and respectful and just like very glad to have been given this chance. And Ulf is like, more wine and tiny birds.
There was just no tact, and they were all being so gracious. And I was like, dude, you need to take this down a notch.
Yeah, and then we get the, like, it wasn't really a back and forth, but Jace just sort of did one of these and was like, watch your back, friendo. Like,
well, which was impressive because I was fully on Jace's side.
In that moment,
with telling him off.
But he was just being a whiny little bitch in that scene with Bela.
Well, I was going to say that, and then they did have Bela come in to kind of smack him around a little bit, which was, nice.
Yeah. I understand the, like, position he's coming from. I get that. I understand that, like, if we're allowing all of these other bastards, then who's to say I, myself a bastard, am going to be able to
challenge his specialness.
Yeah, but, like, woof. It's very Spider-Man. Like, if you think that the only reason you're good for this is the suit, then you don't deserve any of it. Like, please.
And I mean, I get that logic. I just don't find it authentic or compelling. Like, it rings hollow to me. Especially because I'm like, dude, you're the one with the face. Like, you have the prince face and the seat and the mother, and it's like, everyone knows who you are. Like, and I mean, I guess he could be usurped by some hotshot, but if that's the case, then up your game, friend.
Yeah.
Listen to your wife, or betrothed.
Yeah, I don't think they're married yet, yeah.
Rhaena found her dragon. We will have to keep watching to see how to train her dragon.
Yeah.
She was kind of going through it, though.
Yeah, she was, like, all across the fucking...
Mother gave her no provisions, no guidance.
Well, she didn't know she was doing it. She skipped away from the, like... people leaving.
But she did find the dragon. It was gnarly looking, which I think is desirable in a dragon.
Sure.
So we'll see.
I guess Otto is imprisoned somewhere.
Yeah, did we know that?
No, because he said he was going to Highgarden or wherever Darren is.
So if we were meant to know that already or where he is, we're not sure.
I mean, I assume he's in the dungeons at King's Landing. Yeah. But unless Darren is a bad guy and he is imprisoned in Hightower or Highgarden or wherever.
Everything I've heard about Darren is the exact opposite.
Yeah,
so then I'm not sure.
Then I would imagine that, like you said, Aemond or somebody, or Larys, stuck him down there when he was meant to be, like, leaving.
Gwaine and Criston had a conversation.
I did not pay attention to that at all, except for Criston was like, we're all gonna die anyway, so may as well.
I was gonna say, it did a little bit. And not making me like Criston, but sort of justifying him. He's apparently, like, devoted to Alicent, which was not clear to me because I feel like he's been treating her like garbage this whole season. Even your husband, because he said something about how loving her, and Will was like, "Do you?"
Yeah,
because all evidence to the contrary. But he just sort of went on about his oath Gwaine, like.
He doesn't have an oath anymore. He is no longer captain of the King's Guard. He is Hand of the King. That is a whole separate establishment. There is no more oath. Him sullying himself with having sex with a woman is no longer.
In that regard, wouldn't it be bad politics to send your Hand of the King into war away from...
Yes, but he is the only soldier available.
Well, I forgot he is a little bit in cahoots with Aemon.
He is in cahoots with Aemon, but also, like, that was the reason initially...
I also forgot he kind of raised Aemon.
He raised them both.
I forgot the season 1
So, additionally, in season 1, when Rhaenyra chose him as, like, the new, like, one of, like, her guard, she was choosing her own guard, and she chose him, it was because he was the only one who had ever seen battle. And there was, like, so there's, at a certain point, there were, like, a dearth of soldiers, because Viserys ruled over peace for so long. There was not really a huge need. And so I'm sure that's part of why he went, is he's, like, tried in combat. So
let me put it this way. When season 3 rolls around, if we're covering it, I will watch 1 and 2 again, because I tried to fly blind and I was...
Well, we're gonna have to. We're gonna be 45 by the time it happens.
Ew. Ew. I don't like that sentence. We got some Helaena stuff. I find her so compelling, and I don't know if it's because she is compelling or that she's just sort of an empty vessel, and so I'm putting magic inside of it.
No, she's magic.
I know she is, but I'm sort of like she had like 3 scenes in this, and I was sort of captivated, and I'm like, is this actually there, or is she doing, is it like January Jones, where I'm like, is she actually doing amazing?
No. Okay.
Or is she just stoically placed in a position that looks good?
Okay, also that January Jones only applies to X-Men Days of Future Past, or
I forgot that,
First Class or whatever, because she's amazing on Mad Men. She's like actually very good. I think it's mostly that the character of Helaena has become very compelling, and then I think her actress, whose name is Fia Saban or Saban, is again, also quite good.
Olivia Cook just sort of sharing anecdotes, talking about Fee, is very endearing.
I will have to...
I don't need the show. I just want to... The show for me is an excuse for the press tour.
Sure. Yeah. I will have to send you the one where the 3 of them, the 3 siblings, play basically like 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
It's so funny. It's long, but it's very funny.
Because this was actually a Helaena-centric kind of episode.
It had a lot of
Because we had a scene with Alicent testing the waters, like being like, do you want to get out of here?
Yeah, what would you say to not being queen anymore? Does that sound compelling to you? Like it does to me. And then Aemon barged in and was like, you need to fly Dreamfire into battle, to which again, I'm like, girl, that is a bad idea. And then Helaena... I mean,
desperate times.
Helaena too is like, I'm not gonna burn anyone.
Okay, here's something. I don't think it's so much a bad idea as I think it's a gamble.
Well, it's a super gamble, but also if Helaena is saying, I'm not gonna burn anybody, then like, what's the point of you having that dragon out there?
And furthermore, by her saying that, is she saying that she refuses to, or she will be unsuccessful in it? Because she's
refuses.
Kind of I get, well, I was gonna say she's a little bit of a soothsayer, so.
Well, potentially, yes. Because then we get another scene.
Because the scene of the 2 of them on the balcony was, I think, excellent.
So good.
Was their relationship in season 1, or is it just implied?
It's implied, and I think we got some comments from people who have like read the book that it's like heavily implied that her children belong to Aemond, not Aegon.
I was compelled by that.
Yeah. Well, he was like very emotionally asking for help, and she was like, it won't matter. Aegon will be king again, and you will be dead.
I think Aemon is pretty, his writing is pretty thin. I think Ewan's doing a lot.
Oh my god, totally, yeah.
Like deepening that well.
Yeah.
And then Helaena, we can come back to it if we need to, but transitioning into Harrenhal, she was in Daemon's dream vision.
Okay, so Alice...
I didn't understand that even
Alice basically sneaked into his room while he was sleeping on the weirwood bed again. Why he hasn't started sleeping on the floor is beyond me, but whatever. So she's like, I'm going to the Godswood. And he just was like, I'll follow you, sure. And she's like, you need to finally know, like, what's going on.
And there was a human figure with antlers
that
walking around.
Yeah.
But other than the caption sort of verifying that was happening, no one else acknowledged it, and I didn't notice any other reference to it, so I don't know what that...
Maybe just more like the classic Harrenhal haunting
spooky
shit, yeah. So he touched the tree, the weirwood tree, and it bled on him, and he had basically a vision of the Song of Ice and Fire. I could have done, honest to God, without the clips from Game of Thrones, but...
Well, they were new. It was new
whatever.
Footage,
but it was stuff we've seen.
Homage.
Yeah. I could have kind of done without that.
The reason why I was being pedantic there is because I was actually glad that it was new footage.
That it was new. That's
and that
fair.
they weren't just playing B-roll.
Sure. God. Regardless, I understand why it was necessary to do it, because lots of people aren't going to just pick up on that, but it's like, so regardless, he saw basically everything through Daenerys, all the dead dragons, her birthing the dragons, everything like that, so what?
But why was Helaena in it?
I think just because she's a dream walker.
Okay.
I think she was just there, and so basically...
Oh! So you think she was there? He wasn't just seeing her. You think she was...
I think she might have been there as well.
That's why we came out of it to her. Interesting.
I don't necessarily think that she was trying to be there, but I think she was there.
So she was more eavesdropping or peeping.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that way better.
I think that's what kind of happens to her, how she gets her visions.
Yeah, that was not evident to me.
It's why she's called not a dream walker, but one of the
called him a handful
commenters told us that, and then her dragon's name is Dreamfire. I just feel like there's,
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, one of Rhaenyra's small council has come to see Daemon at her...
He was the one that was causing trouble.
At her suggestion. She was like, you need to go talk to Daemon.
The one that
and
she
find
slapped.
out no, it was a different one.
Different one, okay.
And so he's there, and he's like, look, bro, if you want to do this, all your men will follow you. But then he has the dream. And so the next day, she gets a raven from Simon Strong, and then she flies there. What? He's fantastic.
I love Simon Russell Beale. He plays this exact role in everything.
Yeah.
And don't stop. He's such a queen. I love him so much.
So she arrives there with some playmates for Caraxes finally.
Well, he eavesdrops on it, and he's like, warns her.
Hey man, might be bad news.
Which is in desperate need in this world.
Yeah.
For people looking out for...
Yeah, so she arrives.
Each other, especially Rhaenyra.
Yeah, she sees all the men that Daemon has mustered, and she basically is like, the fuck's going on, man? And he's like, I didn't think you'd come, but perfect timing. Look at this army that I built for you. And
we're rehearsing a flash mob. You caught us a little early, but places.
We're rehearsing for a play. So basically he kneels to her too. So I think the vision, unless...
Rachel even said, she was like, is this the first time he's ever actually lowered himself for her? And we were like,
maybe when he crowned her, I think he knelt, but regardless, I feel it's sincere in the moment. I guess we could go either way.
I agree.
Moving forward.
The way you phrased that was perfect. Yeah. It was sincere in the moment.
In the moment. So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, he effectively says as much to her in Valyrian when it's over.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of...
She's like, if you ever leave me again, at your own peril.
I will say that is one of my takeaways of this season is Millie Alcott approached Rhaenyra with such determination and ferocity that she did a good job, but I like what Emma's done with Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
She seems less sure of herself, and I think that that's crucial for a lead.
I agree.
In something like this.
I totally agree.
I don't know, I kind of... If she was so tough all the time, I'm gonna get you. I would be so bored.
Boring. Yeah, for sure. So they are going. They are basically in a really great position because they've got the army now, so they can defend Harrenhal. They've also got all the river lords, which means they can defend the twins from the Lannisters coming the other way. So basically, and the Starks are coming down with all their people from the north as well. So, and they've got 6 dragons. So,
and that's not counting
Rhaena's new dragon, and to that point too.
And apparently, it only takes 2 days to train a dragon, which is good.
Rhaenyra was like, well, because somebody brought up Dreamfire, and Rhaenyra was like, Helaena has no stomach for dragon riding. Like,
I want to see it.
I'm sure we will.
I want to.
I'm sure we will. But that was the same for me, where I was like, you have to still take it into account, even on the off chance it might happen. You have to still think about it. So, yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the position they're in because there was something else. Oh, sure, because Alicent showed the fuck up.
Well, I was gonna say they heard my critique about the dresses, specifically the costumes last week, because we had several beautiful costumes, and it wasn't just the two girls, because even Sir Simon had that. I said he looked like an Eternal. He looked like Druid from Eternals.
It was great.
But no, I loved Rhaenyra's dinner gown with the dragon head epaulets and then like a dragon tail belt.
Yeah.
And then her like evening coat, her like house coat.
So good. I think we might call that a dressing gown.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then
Alicent's cloak, her blue cloak as well too. Yeah, so she sneaks into Dragonstone and is like, "What's up, former lover? Would you like to run away with me?"
It was so good. It was so good. And it was so necessary, even though not not much happened, but you could hear a pin drop in the room. We
were riveted, yeah. Well, it's because Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook have such good chemistry, and like the worst crime this show ever committed was keeping them apart, which obviously I know the source material, blah, 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 but they deserve to be in scenes together. I hope they get another job together after this, because they're fantastic.
Rhaenyra was also just so funny.
She just was
it was very Real Housewives. Yeah. It was very, you have some nerve.
Alicent was like, I went beyond the walls and I, had my walkabout, and she was like, how lovely for you. And like, it was just very like, and I love the moment they got to at the end where she was
Alicent made a decent case.
Well, she was like, look, Aemond is going to be gone. He's going to join them in Harrenhal. Helaena will be queen. If you come, then we can do this without bloodshed. And Rhaenyra was like, cool. What about Aegon? Like, you're not, my son's dead, your son's gonna be dead. And like,
I would be more worried about Aemon than I would Aegon.
Well, for sure, but that's the thing.
I know Aegon's the one that has the claim, and that's why he's more important.
Yeah, but once she has the throne and the Red Keep and the city, he then is the usurper, and so then they can just mount an attack, and then they'll have all the dragons to go and whatever. So I just loved that moment where she was like, it is far too late for that. Like, and we already discussed that in the Sept,
She said that.
Yeah, and she was just like, it's way too late for that. This is like so beyond anything.
Bitch, it is 3:30.
Yeah, it's just, you cannot do this without bloodshed now. Like, there's no possible way to do it. So they do basically strike the deal where it's like, Alicent is just like, sure, fine, kill my son. Like, that's,
she doesn't say that.
She nods her head.
It's sort of like a if you must.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and
Rhaenyra,
I do like Rhaenyra's like, how am I to know that you'll stand with this? And Alicent was like, gotta have faith. And then she sort of put the hood up, and then it's still giving me Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah, there's no reason this
it's still good. Like they're really mining this, for all it's worth. But for my money, I am finding enough enjoyable to continue going. Yeah. And like I said, for me, this was a pretty high note to end on. Did Mysaria do anything? I mean, she was in this episode.
They had like a talk, but yeah, that's because she was like, I'm gonna have to kill so many people, and it's not what my father would have wanted. And Mysaria was like, well, it's the hand you were dealt. So
buck up, buttercup. So yeah, it was good. I just more, I don't know, in every conceivable facet, more. I had said something to you off camera where I was like, I think another thing that has kind of been griping me about the show is that I wish it was more about the dragons. Like, I understand that they're expensive, and I understand that, we've gotten dragon battle. I think they think that we want dragon battle. And it's like, well, a little bit, we do. Yeah. But I just want dragons. I want to know about them. Like, I wish we got more into it, because that is another thing about OG Game of Thrones, is it also was weird, and it tricked a lot of people into watching a weird fantasy show. Yeah. And I feel like they're so laser, like they're like, we got a new show. It's called House of the Dragon. Remember, you love the dragon. They're there, but it's all politics, wall to wall politics. And I know I'm usually the one asking for, palace intrigue.
Court intrigue. Well, this isn't court intrigue though. This is like court intrigue is like Bridgerton.
Mm-hmm.
This is like just war.
This is
warfare
Star
politics.
Wars prequels trade federation.
Exactly. How much do I need to know about the fucking Galactic Senate? Like, what am I doing here?
But no, I made reference to Teen Wolf, which is one of our favorite shows. But like in season 2 of Teen Wolf, there's this like tidbit that a werewolf can take pain from other animals, and it's this like gorgeous, emotional, beautiful scene of like Scott healing a sick dog. And the whole premise of the scene is that he can't fix it, but he can make its life that like hurt less.
Yeah.
And it's weird, thoughtful, magical things like that I wish we got a little bit more of. And
like I take your point. I wish that we were finding out more about the dragons and their behavior and their personalities,
like that
and
scene,
stuff,
or that scene, because I keep talking about how they're weapons, but they're also natural resources. And the scene where they were parading Melissa's head through the square, and the villagers kind of were turning on them, and more than one person referred to them as gods and stuff. It's like I wish there was a bit more.
Well, it's also
mysticism, which we were getting in Harrenhal, but that felt like a
different,
a distract, or
and
like
also like Sunfire's like a puppy. And
but
like,
I wish
Cyrax is like a spoiled cat, and so it's like we need more of that. Like the only reason I know that is because I go on the internet after these episodes are over. I would have no way of knowing that.
I wish I was able to glean the dragons' personalities from watching the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I think production should handle it, but I'm like, I mean, that's your problem, not mine.
100%.
Like, you can't make a show called House of the Dragon. And then, again, I mean, they're giving them. Well, also,
I mean, House of the Dragon is just the Targaryens. That's what that means. But
it's about the dance. They
are the House of the Dragon.
It was sold to us as as Game of Thrones, but with all the dragons that you want.
Yeah, in 6 years. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't think I'm asking. Well, I mean, I am asking too much, but I don't think I'm being unreasonable.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm being I'm demanding a lot, but I don't think I'm being unreasonable. And I guess it's what HBO wants. Do they want something that's good enough, or do they want something
good?
That's And I feel like we are straddling that line.
Yeah, I agree. I think this show is successful only on the strength of the actors, who are all basically fantastic. So, yeah. I guess we'll see.
Those are our feelings about season 2.
Yeah. I think you're right. They're stretching a little too much. We thought they were going too breakneck in season 1, and now I think they're stretching too much. Like it's taking too long. So maybe season 3 will be a happy medium.
Nothing plays you.
No, it's like a season of American Horror Story.
5 episodes. 5 episodes. It's gotta be 5 episodes. 4 is too few, and 6 is too many.
So, we'll see.
All right. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe. We will be covering Rings of Power next. I think is the next live show that we're doing.
Yep.
Also, we have on the schedule Agatha All Along and the Dune show, although we've got some time before we get to there. Yeah. Be on the lookout for Teen Wolf Season 4. It should be coming in a week or 2. And then True Blood Season 3.
A little after
soonish.
that.
Yeah. And then we're live streaming and all that. We think our next live is going to be August, the 3rd or 4th Saturday of August.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. And then there are Patreon, YouTube, Venmo, Cashapp, all that stuff. If you want to help out, help keep that light functioning.
Keep the dragon lit.
It burnt out. We just watched Abigail today. It'll be up on the Patreon in a week or 2. So you can head on over there. We're doing more watch-alongs with Patreon and all that. Thank you, patrons. You guys are the best. And it's the only way that we can do this is because people patronize us. So
yep. Bye.